Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are taking a look at a Grixis deck. I'm not quite sure what to call it. Aggro, mid-range, could just call it Grixis Bolus, could call it Grixis Haste. But yeah, it's an unusual build that attempts to apply early pressure in the form of cards like, please don't take cards out of the deck. Thank you, deck. Cards like Dreadhorde Butcher, hanging out here, which is a really fun card, and cards like Captain Lannery Storm and Legion Warboss. Then it uses removal spells like Shock, Carnival Carnage, Lightning Strike, Bedeck, and Bedevil to get the blockers that would get in the way of Dreadhorde Butcher, Lannery Storm, and Legion Warboss and keep them from completing their combat missions, and it just kills them so that we can keep attacking and attacking and attacking. And by putting pressure on the opponent, they have trouble getting their Planeswalker strategies going, which is one of the big targets that this deck has. Now, if our early pressure backed by removal strategy falls short, we just hit them up Bolus. We just throw Bolus the Ravager and Bolus the Dragon God at them and try to overpower them with some of the strongest cards in the game. The deck splashes blue. The blue is a very, very small part of our strategy until we're casting Nicole Bolas or Nicole Bolas, so we don't have early blue cards. In particular, a card that's missing that some of you may insist on putting in the deck, and that's fine if you want to, but I'm not playing Thief of Sanity. Thief of Sanity is very bad against Teferi Time Raveler, and it's very bad against the entire red deck. So Thief of Sanity stayed home, as those are the decks I'm most concerned with beating. And instead, we just have a whole bunch of removal and a deceptive amount of burn. Lightning Strike, Shock, Carnage, and Bedazzle all deal damage to face. So the opponent might think they're in okay shape, taking a few hits from the Butcher, then killing it, taking a few more hits from the Butcher. Then next thing you know, they take one hit from a Bolus or some sneaky hits from the Captain and a Warboss token, and they're in burn range before they even know it. So the deck is kind of an assertive take on Grixis. Rather than sit back and control and let the opponent play all their Planeswalkers, we're just going to go over there and kill them and their Planeswalkers. And if that plan doesn't go completely according to plan, we'll just kick their butt in the late game with our Boluses. So for sideboard, I'm going to be playing this in best of one today. It's a new strategy to me, something I haven't tried very much of. Seems fun, I'm having a good time with it, but I'm not quite, it's not fully cooked, if you know what I mean. So over here in the sideboard, which if this is just my experimental sideboard that I would try out if I had to play an event with this tomorrow, like an FNM, I've got 4 Duress and 3 Negates for the control matchups, likely removing cards like Shock and Lightning Strike that only go to face. And then the Elder Spell can also come in against decks with very, very high counts of Planeswalkers. A little rant about the Elder Spell. You really need this to take out the larger Planeswalkers that are going to have big ultimates and do mega value to accumulate the game. Elder Spell isn't that good if it's coming down and blowing up a Narset that already minused, a Teferi that already minus 3'd, that's a baby Teferi, and a Sarkhan that already made a dragon and attacked you with a Planeswalker. Like, that's not a good use of the Elder Spell. What's a good use of the Elder Spell is when the opponent is trying to set up like Teferi Hero of Dominaria and Liliana, Dreadhorde General, and they happen to have a leftover baby Teferi. Those are good Elder Spell targets, and when you can put enough counters on your Nicole Bolas to win the game, that's hot too. 4 Lava Coils come in against decks where you need the Exile Clause. I don't know how many of those decks really exist right now, but if you absolutely know that you're going against sizing matters matchups, cards like Wildgrowth Walker and Steel Leaf Champion and Rekindling Phoenix and Gruul Spellbreaker, then you'll want to cut some of the cheaper, smaller removal, like Carnival Carnage, and replace it with Lava Coil. Tybalt the Rakish Instigator is there for decks that gain life, but it's also very good against red to provide some grindy little 1/1 bodies that take creatures down with them when they die. So you can bring this in against red. I would probably cut something like Captain Lannery Storm and some amount of Legion Warboss, and you bring this in against, of course, those Wildgrowth Walker decks and things of that nature. All right. That's a quick overview of what I do with the sideboard, even though I won't be playing it today. I know many of you like the idea of sideboard cards and strategies, so I'm trying to give a little extra dimension. Now we're going to go play some games with this thing, see how it does. Oh, is that so? Oopsie. Grixis Bolus. We play a fun game in chat. It's kind of a meme game at this time on Twitch. But tell me in comments, what does Bolus mean in your language? I decided to try out a constructed event. They usually have a lot of red and aggressive decks, which I think are a good test for this, rather than trying the full-on Mythic Ladder, because I'm not quite sure about the deck yet. So this will be a good experiment. This hand has a removal spell and 2 war bosses, and we're on the play. I don't like 4 lands without a blue source, as Bolus won't be able to happen until I draw one. But we'll give it a try. Blue-red. And another black-red land off the top is not ideal. I played the Dragon Skull Summit to leave up the Bedeck Bedazzle. Alright. Just in case we had something we wanted to kill and then resolve this war boss. Let's hope that's an opt. Okay. If it was a shock, that would be sad. And we've got an awkward hand, and if we're against Drakes where they have a lot of 4 toughness creatures, we're going to wish we had those sideboarded lava coils. Legion Warboss getting busy. Our opponent with 3 straight Sulfur Falls. And down goes Warboss number 1. And they're slow clicking their turn, so that might be another opt. Do we go for another Warboss or a Butcher? I feel like another Warboss is probably the best way to apply pressure, but hopefully the opponent doesn't have double shock. I don't think they do unless they drew 2 in a row, or they would have shocked instead of opted last turn. And it is an opt. We can move to combat, make an extra token. Send in our 1/1s. Get that sneaky damage through. We're still in a bad place to top deck Bolus, which isn't a place I found myself with this deck before. Usually the blue sources has been there for me. Not today. It's a little concerning. We'll see how it goes. Opponent checking their graveyard already. Certainly implying something like a Finale of Revelation, or Finale of Promise, I think it's called. It's the red one. That can cast 2 spells from their graveyard. And after thinking longer than I think I would have, it's Crackling Drake time. So, let's get it out of the way, shall we? Crackling Drake must die so that we can continue our march of death upon the opponent. I could have tried to trade it with one of my tokens, which might have been better for card advantage, but it's not better for pressure, as this allows me to make another 2/2 and get in there for extra damage. And I'm not going to win a long game, really. Not with the Drake's deck, and not without my Bolus cards. So we have to lean heavily on pressure from the position we're in the game right now. The opponent finds their Beacon Bolt. Takes out the War Boss. How many 1-cost spells do you have? They've had plenty so far. So either they have a land, and they're thinking about that. Okay, they shock to do it. That's good. What does 2 more mana do for you? A Chart a Course. I'm really happy about that. They shocked themselves to Chart a Course there. Are they just dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's not miss lethal. As much as I want to play a Dreadhorde Busher, thank you for shocking yourself. Like I said in the deck talk, there's a deceptive amount of burn here. A deceptive amount of ways to go face. And it can just get there. Game 2. Strike, Warboss, draw a blue source for the first time in this event, and we Bolus. Plus we have a castable Bedevil. I like it. I like it a lot. Another card that you might be missing, that might just scream Grixis to you, is Thought Erasure. I do not run Thought Erasure. The blue, like I've said a few times, is a splash. If you want to up your blue count and play no basic lands in a very painful mana base, you can get Thought Erasure and probably Thief of Sandy, some cards you may really like if you're a Grixis mage, into the deck. But I do not think I just don't feel like it's the right thing for this deck at the moment, and I wanted to play with some kind of a different strategy that I don't think most people do when they play these decks, so no regrets. Whether or not to Lightning Strike this Firebrand, I'm pretty sure I want to wait and see if my opponent has a Runaway Steamkin. Opponent in the tank. That could imply that they need this Firebrand to get through for light up the stage, and if we have the hot read, we could go for lightning striking the Firebrand and hope to strand them with a light up the stage and no lands. You see them thinking about it. Usually tanking that long isn't, you know, getting with my Firebrand Steam King go. Alright, there is a second land and there is a Steamkin. And they even play it pre-combat, so I don't make the mistake of zapping their Firebrand. Yep, let's take out that runaway Steamkin now that the decisions for the turn are all made. Come on, Blue Source. Yes! Actually, it comes into play tap, doesn't it? No! Burned. Alright. Let's go, Legion Warboss. I'm sure you're going to die next turn, but at least this way we get the token out of the deal. I guess a Goblin Chain Whirler would be pretty terrible for us. The Fanatical Firebrand could kill the Warboss, and the Chain Whirler takes out the token, and the opponent still has a 3/3. Then we spend our turn bedeviling it and getting our tap land out of the way. I guess terrible is a strong term. We might be fine. Surely you're going to kill this Warboss. You can't allow it to live. And the critics were skewered. Apparently my Warboss was heckling at the show. Now he's been skewered. So this is a Wizard. If the opponent had a Wizard's Lightning, I think they would have played it. But we could bedevil this main phase. But I like waiting because we might get the opponent to, say, sack the Firebrand, take out the token to get the Pyromancer through, and then we bedevil it. So let's see if we can get the opponent committed to something, then drop a Bolus on them. What are they doing? What are you doing, Red Mage? Decision is so hard. Do I burn the face? Do I burn the creature? I don't know where the accent is coming from. Don't judge me. I just woke up. I put my pajamas on. I'm in here making a video. I'm sure it's highest of quality. Now with better improved face cam resolution. Look closely, you'll be able to tell. Don't, I'm just kidding. Alright, the opponent has decided to move the token out of the way. They're sending their Pyromancer, we're knocking it away. Get the hell out of here. You see that there's no stick, meaning the opponent does not have any more instant speed effects. So we can take them off Lightning Strike, Wizard's Lightning Shock. So what is in their hand? Experimental Frenzy might be in their hand. That would be obnoxious. What else could be in their hand? Skewer the Critics. They didn't. Did they damage me that turn? Yes, they did, and they didn't play it. So probably not. It wouldn't have skipped through their main phase. So what is in their hand? It could be a Chain Whirler, but I think they would have played a Chain Whirler. So that means it's either lands or cards like Chandra and Experimental Frenzy. So I think Chandra would have been played, so I'm guessing we're going to get Frenzied. It would be great if it's land. That's like best case scenario. Okay. That doesn't feel like... That does not feel like a Frenzy to me anymore, but we could Bolus them again just to make sure. They could have just drawn this off the top and played it instead of a Frenzy, trying to get every point of damage possible. So I think that the conservative line is to play the Bolus, and the aggressive line is just to sit back, use a removal spell, and plan to play this Bolus next turn. That's the control game. I think I have to be assertive. Because against red, believe it or not, they have better card advantage engines than our Grixis control decks. Yeah, they do. Sad but true. They win the late game. So I'm not sad about the decision. I think it was the right one, even though getting another mountain out of the hand, that was kind of best case scenario for us, is that it was just, they had blanks. It's okay. It's not okay. Nothing's okay. Does this mean I just have to keep attacking? I have to play Bolus here, plus it, and keep attacking because I have to end this game? Yeah, I think that's the case. If the opponent decides to attack or shoot down the Bolus, I've got to be happy about that. It's basically like gaining life, and we have to keep attacking the opponent. Does this destroy... Oh, it's a non-basic land. Well, this is 7 damage if we bedeck our Bolas. Alright, the opponent's going face. They too smart to go after Bolas. Here they come. Down to 4. Now the opponent can simply exile the card from their hand. How much damage can we get in? 1, 2, 3... 7. Oh, so close. We need to draw a shock or a burn spell? Is that what you're telling me? Does that do it? It's really close. Dreadhorde Butcher. Captain Lannery Storm. Oh my god, it's Xaxes. And this is why we attacked this turn. This is why we did not hold back, my friends. We are a sneaky aggro deck and we play like one. Bedeck, target creature gains +3, -3. Make sure we target our 4 toughness creature so it becomes a 7/1. Got him. All right. On the draw is sad, but we can definitely keep it. Go for a Butcher, War Boss removal. Stomping Ground. All right. That's fresh. Don't think we need a blue source right away, so we'll lead on Blood Crypt. We don't need them till turn 4 at the earliest. Paradise, a Druid. Let's rock and roll. Doubt you want to block this, but maybe you do. Ha. Well, I'm pretty happy to get the Druid off the field then. At least keeps the opponent from rekindling Phoenixing me on turn 3 on the draw. Crap. Alright. Let's pay 2 life and get a War Boss cooking. You want to block this Goblin token? That'd be weird. Five mana. Big monster. Incubation Druid. I've seen better. So I think the easy mode play is to shock the Incubation Druid and get in with the tokens. The opponent hasn't removed the War Boss. Let's go into combat though and get that trigger before we put the shock on the stack. Just in case the opponent had some removal spell. I could trade off the War Boss for the Druid, but the opponent traded their last Druid, which tells me that they don't value it very highly. They don't have a big payoff in their hand for the mana. And even if they did, if they tap it, then we can kill it and make way for the War Boss. I'm going to... No, I'm not going to shock here. Well, should I have Bedevil available? Maybe I'll really want to. To stay assertive, we want our mana available next turn. Yeah, I'm going to shock here, just to have all my options available going into my opponent's turn. And it might make the opponent think I have a Sinister Sabotage and Ionize or something like that. Oh, hi. On the bright side, I get to kill this. I think I just want to use my Bedevil then. Although the opponent might have other big creatures. Let's use a Bedeck. Let's save the Lightning Strike because it can go face. Guess I should have tried to force the issue with my War Boss there. Although, yeah, I don't know. I thought they were on all ramp spells. Oh well. Doesn't matter now, we just have to go face and love it. Now, we could also, like, it's tempting to get in with the War Boss here, get 4 points through, but we could also just keep doing this, sending 3 tokens and keeping the War Boss back. The opponent hasn't had a removal for it, and if they play something that's not hexproof so they can attack with the Tyrant, we can Bedevil or kill it, and then our War Boss can get in. So, I like this. I think it's okay. If the Carnage Tyrant isn't attacking, it's fine. And if it does attack, maybe we can punish that attack. Bedevil, remove their blocker. War Boss swings in. Lots more damage. We close out the game quicker. There's a Goreclaw. Let's see what the opponent does. Do they attack with this Carnage Tyrant? They do not. Big decision. The opponent's at 14 life. If we bedevil the Goreclaw, we can get through for 4 damage next turn. We can Lightning Strike. That puts the opponent at 7. Bedazzle is 2 damage, and then the following turn... Yeah, we still don't close out the game. So I think we're running the same play we did last turn, and the question now is how do we kill the Goreclaw? I may want these 2 points from the Bedazzle. I can't get away from that, but the opponent might also have a large creature like a Galta that we have to bedevil. So I'm going to use the Bedeck. Choosing which removal spell to use and when to use it is actually a pretty huge part of Magic that most people will just say I'm dirtling and taking too long to decide, but I am trying to explain why. Trust me, it matters a lot. Alright, keep getting in there just a little bit. Land number 6 is not ideal. But the opponent's on the same... They've got the same problem, and I'm guessing their last card is a land too, because it hasn't been something they can play or make much use of. Captain Lannery's Storm. So now if we attack with Legion Warboss, it makes a token, and it's a 2/2. The opponent blocks a Warboss. They take 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7. They drop to 5, and then if I get any damage through the next turn combined with the Lightning Strike, we win. So I think it's the right time to make a move. The opponent could pull off some kind of a sweeper or a Regisaur Alpha, something to gum up the board at any moment, so we want to go for it. There's the block. Let's make our red mana, but we don't need to use it right now. I still want to hold back the Lightning Strike. I don't want the opponent to know the plan. And it is one of those things where if I still did have the Bedeck, I would have the 2 extra points of burn in my hand. But the opponent with another land, and it looks like we're going to get there. Turn him sideways. Blocking Lannery Storm. Do we get the damage through? Yes, we do. Let's go for the Lightning Strike. And that's game. All right. We can't cast the Bedevil, but we have a Warboss and some removal to clear the way for it. I think we keep this. Any black source turns on the Bedevil, and against mono red, we at least have some early removal. Let's get the Grave down. We could have shocked for it to have Carnival Carnage available for a Steamkin or a Pyromancer, but I don't think that's a big deal, and man am I glad we didn't, because Burning Prophet is not that card. Burning Prophet, you should die. Unfortunately right now our Carnival Carnage is looking horrible, but let's do this before the opponent can untap and use the Scry ability to do anything cool. Burning Prophet, interesting. It's a lot like Runaway Steamkin sometimes, with a little bit more of a selection thing, and it's a wizard, but I don't think it makes the cut, primarily because of how bad it is against Teferi Time Raveler. Getting it bounced, it doesn't produce any damage or value the turn it comes into play. The tempo loss is a bit large. Heartfire. Okay. Very curious to see if the opponent decides to cast that Heartfire next turn. I guess we could try to take out their creatures and make it impossible for them to do that. So let's try that line. Shock your Lava Runner. Carnival Carnage your Pyromancer. Now you have nothing to sacrifice. Let's play the Shock land and say go. It's like Light Up the Stage didn't do very much. Alright, Lava Runner. Let's see if the opponent wants to Heartfire one of these. No, they do not. Well, the Warboss doesn't do much here. We definitely want the token. We don't want to run it into the Lava Runner. So let's say go and see what our opponent does. We'll probably be decking something here. We could also play the Bedevil. The Kindling Phoenix. Crap. Oh my god. You don't see one of them often these days. And there it is, in all of its rekindling glory. So I think the play here is going to be Bedevil the Phoenix, bedeck the token, and play a Warboss and make a 1/1. That's probably the best way to get value. We've got to get that Phoenix out of the way. And it's possible our opponent's hand could just be so bad that we get away with the War Boss brickwalling the Lava Runners. It's possible. I'm not married to it. When I coach roller derby, I tell the gals on the team, date a plan, don't marry it. You have to be willing to change the plan when it's not working. All right. 5 mountains, 5 mountains. The last card's that lightning strike to pump those lava runners. Ugh. It burns. Shock off the top is ideal. Now we can drop a butcher, get it pumped. We may as well get in with the token. I don't plan to block with it this turn. We fall to 10, and it's a top deck war. See what the opponent does. Ooh, no attacks? Weird. Do they plan to block the butcher? If they do, the value is tremendous. Another butcher. Well, we don't want to show them that, or they'll block it with the other lava runner. Well, actually, if we shock one lava runner and attack with both butchers, they can't stop both. Is that better? I think it is. And there was no stick, so the opponent doesn't have an instant speed removal spell. If the opponent lets both of these through and blocks the token, I'm really happy with that. So let's force that. Yep, there's the lava runner. Dreadhorde Butcher dies. Takes out the lava runner on the way out the door because of the ability. And this butcher made it to a 3/3. And our token's alive. Beat deck. It's a good one. Let's get him. Opponent looks like they're drawing some land. They hit a flood at the wrong time. We hit a flood of removal spells at the right time. But that's why we play so dang many. And the opponent's going to scoop this up. They don't want to see where it goes from here. All right, 2 removal spells, War Boss and Lannery Storm. If we draw any land, the hand is good, and we're on the draw, so let's give it a shot. The opponent opens with a Lava Runner, which is so frustrating when you're holding Carnival Carnage. That's the way it goes, though. So, I could play the Swamp and have Carnival Carnage up for the Runaway Steamkin or the Pyromancer, or I could just play that next turn. But yeah, we'll just get the Blood Crypt down. Plus, if we draw another land, we might want to take a line of Lannery Storm into a Carnival Carnage. Although it's very tempting to keep that treasure for a Bolus Dragon God. Mountain number 2, Runaway Steamkin. Ta-da! Alright, well, this is good. We can play the Blood Crypt tapped and use the Carnival Carnage. And we want to do that on our turn and not give the opponent any chance to pump their Steamkin. Good job, Carnival Carnage. You did your job. I'm proud of you. For our opponent's next trick, we will see who knows what. Could it be? It's a Wizard's Lightning. Is it also a light up the stage? No, it's a shock as well. So the opponent thinks that we're on control. They might really regret that once they see the rest of our deck. I think I like Lannery Storm getting in here, but I don't really know if Dragon God is what we want next turn, and the War Boss can get in front of the Lava Runner. The opponent's kind of aggressive burn plan implies to me that that might be the right play, to make them move the War Boss out of the way before they get more damage in. So, yeah, I think it's time to start putting bodies in between my face and the opponent. And there they are. They had to use a Lightning Strike on the War Boss. That's what we needed in this spot. It's not a land off the top. It's a Carnival Carnage. I guess we could make a treasure, sacrifice it, and Carnage plus token block the Lava Runner. But I think it's better to get another War Boss down. So we have to attack with this one. We don't have to attack with this one. This one could stay back, block the Lava Runner, buy us more time. And I honestly think that's where we are at in the game, where with more time we should be able to win. So that's the play I'm going to make. Second Lava Runner. And a Pyromancer. Okay. Attacks. All right. Let's absorb the damage. Keep our life total high. I can give up value right now because I have 5 cards in my hand. The opponent has 1. And, well, we could use a Bedevil. We can also use Carnage and Carnival and Lightning Strike, which sounds ideal to me. Let's pass the turn over and have that be the plan. The opponent might try to move this token out of the way. We'll see. All right, they're both going in. I'll take this block. And yeah, they're really feisty. So their last card is probably also a burn spell, hoping to get there. Happy to trade the token here and save the Carnival Carnage. Ah, Frenzy. Always. All right. Well, we need our blue source, so let's get it going, Lannery. And let's hope for a bit of a whiff here on this Frenzy. There isn't a lot else we can do. Mountain and... Alright, at least it's an expensive light up the stage. Frenzy and Strike. What does the opponent strike? Well, they're going for Firebrand. They're not going for Strike. Okay. Oh, and they turned it sideways. That makes Carnival good. Got there. Legion Warboss. Okay, so we could slam Bolus. Bolus doesn't matter very much. The opponent can exile this card from their hand. They can't play it anyway. They're just going to keep going off with Frenzy. I think it's a much better play here to try to get as much damage in as we can and try to turn the corner. So I'm going to sack this treasure, pumping the Lannery Storm, and then play the Warboss. Get this damage in, make another treasure. We're not sacrificing this treasure. We're holding up Bedevil for whatever hasty threat the opponent might pull. And trying to put as much damage on the opponent as we can. Goblin Chain Whirler is very unfortunate. We could kill it now, but I'll wait. If our opponent hits another one, my heart may break. All right, Lava Runner. And there's still a Lightning Strike. Let's see what the opponent decides to do with it, if they go face or go after the Warboss. They go after the they skewer the critics on the Warboss. Ouch. All right. Let's go for red and Bedevil that. Save our life total. To the best of our ability, we'll untap and either Bolus God or Bedevil the Chain Whirler. Ooh. Well, we still have to Bedevil the Chain Whirler here. But I think we save the blue mana now. Keep getting in there and hope for a bad Frenzy turn. We could throw away our Lannery Storm to play a Bolus, but I really hate that play. Seems very weak to me. All right. Land. 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 Yes. Yes, we caught a break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then if this dies, I win. It's so close. It's so close. But I think the right play is the Bolus to have the blocker and save the Butcher as a surprise. So we'll do it first main to make sure we get the extra point of damage out of Lannery Storm. Opponent discards a land. Yep. Get that point in. We're at 7. Our opponent's going to 5. We could make it 4. But I think we just save the point. Although, if we make it 4, the Bolus hit is lethal. We take the Dragon God off the table. I think we go for it. I think we go for it, friends. Alright. If they have one of those Frenzy turns, we lose. If they hit, like, the wrong cards, like another Frenzy, a Chandra, something like that, we might win. They have to pay 3 for a light up the stage. That's good. They have 4 points of burn right here, though. They just need a Skewer the Critics or Wizard's Lightning, and it's over. or a mountain into a lightning strike will do. Down to 5. Another light up the stage. They have the Wizard's Lightning. They need a mountain. They just need a land. They say nice. Here comes the Pyromancer. Is it a land? It's not a land. Yes! Take that, Frenzy. Alright, we're on the play, but our mana's bad, but we have a lot of removal. So, the Red Mage, which of course is what everybody playing Jaya is, I mean, we will get to kill their Steamkin on time, and that's probably the most important thing, so we'll give this a try. I would mulligan this, I think, on the draw. It's too slow, but on the play, I think we can get away with it. Cross your fingers, hold on to your butts. Green mana? The hell does that do? Hold on, let me look back. Yeah, okay. I did play a dinosaur deck that had some green mana in this run. I was just looking back to see if anything anywhere played green in this whole 9 games. All right, possibly green-white tokens, and without a sweeper, we're definitely in trouble. It's going to be a hard deck to contain. History of Benalia will be a real pain, but our opponent doesn't have a turn 2 Imara or anything for our shock to take advantage of, and we are a tapped land machine. We're really going to have to lean on the power of Bolas. Nothing. What is going on? I'm very grateful to draw this land. Thank you. I'm so grateful I'll shock it. I'll shock for it. I don't care. All right, Bolas, what you got? Opponent, what did they have? March of the Multitudes? Loxodon discarded. Wow. I think they kept an awkward hand. How do you keep a hand like that in this format that does nothing till ever? All right. Send the Bolas. I'm going to do something incredibly aggressive, because I need to get this game over with. Don't punish me. I can't think of what they might have that would punish me, but I'm going ham. I'm going in for 7 points. Yeah, my goal is to end this game before green-white gets to do its wide board nonsense. And then there's Oketra. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the opponent to 8. Bedeck Bedazzle takes them to 1. We just need to draw a point of burn. Dreadhorde Butcher would do. Lightning Strike would do. Shock will do. Yep. Sometimes you gotta get so aggro. That's gotta be one of the more satisfying ways to get a 7th win. Just Super Bolas aggro. All right. Give us those sweet, sweet 7-win rewards. All right, let's do a quick recap, because I'll probably choose the best games so as not to make too long of a video and cut the ones that probably aren't exciting to watch. We played against Drakes, we played against Red, we played against Red, we played against Red, we played against Dinosaurs, we played against Red, we played against Red, and we finished off against Green, White, Tokens. And maybe the deck has a few more legs than I give it credit for, and it was all right. The games that we lost a game to Red where we didn't make a play until turn 3, and that is why we lost, and it was on the draw. And we lost another game. Let's see. What happened in that game? Brain fart. I think I just flooded out or something, but it was another one of those Red games. Anyway, let's claim those prizes. Maybe the deck does have a few more legs than I give it credit for, and you Grixis fans can go out and try it. So thank you for watching the video. If you are a mono red mage who actually enjoys that kind of thing, I released my guide for competitive mono red. in best of 3 on the ladder, and that's available early to people who support the channel by hitting the join button or pledging on Patreon or subscribing on Twitch. All of those are $4.99 a month paid ways to see the video a week early before your competition. And if you want to, you can check that out. And there'll be other deck guides in the future. I'm working on another one as we speak for competitive, like best of 3 play. Then, meanwhile, every day you get a video from me showcasing a new standard deck. Maybe this deck should be explored more on the competitive side because it was very fun to play compared to traditional like Grixis, which feels like smashing my head against a wall these days with all these Planeswalker decks. It just seems like I never have the right answers. Maybe we shouldn't be trying to answer questions. Maybe we should be posing more threats. I loved Legion Warboss. I love Dreadhorde Butcher. I even love Captain Lannery Storm all day. And there were some excellent nail-biter games. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.